Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to another Ninja Focus video. And today is something a little bit different. Today we are going to be looking at some photos. So, as you may or may not know, one of my main phones that I've been working with the past couple of months, of course, is the jet black iPhone 7 Plus. And one of my new favorite features, new-ish I should say, is portrait mode. Now, portrait mode is basically the depth effect that Apple is trying to do that a couple other phone manufacturers have tried in the past, and none have really taken off. Now, portrait mode has been out a couple of months, so we have seen definitely our fair share amount of samples, both that show it in its best light and not so best light. So I'm here to tell you that portrait mode by no means is a replacement to a actual depth of field that you get from like a DSLR or basically any camera that gives you that traditional depth of field. Now, I have been an avid user of this, and you can see it on some of my social media accounts, including, of course, Instagram. But what I really wanted to test out, and I actually didn't even think about this until earlier this morning. I was at the dog park with my two dogs, one of who you may be hearing right now because the mailman just went by. So I was at the park. It's the first time that these two dogs have really seen snow since they weren't even like alive last snow year, and so I wanted to take some pictures to send to my fiance just of them playing in the snow. So I took some normal photos and videos that aren't anything special, just capturing the moment. But then I was like, I wonder if I can do depth effect here, or the portrait mode. This includes even just for normal cameras. A phone automatically is like disqualified in terms of the camera if it can't take a good picture of a moving pet, because that's the real test. I feel like babies and pets, and I don't have the first one, but I do have pets. So I wanted to see how the portrait mode is affected. So what I did was took a bunch of pictures. I edited them in the normal Photos app. I did not use any third party, not that that would matter too much, but I wanted to keep things as fast as possible. So these were all taken in the portrait mode from the basic in Apple in camera. I just airdropped them to my MacBook here, and this will be the first time I'm looking at them on a bigger screen. So let's take a look here. I have them brought up, but did not examine them. Boom, full screen. So this is my first newest dog, Bailey. We just got her like a month ago, but I'm sure you guys don't care too much about that. Overall, very good depth effect. I can definitely see it aired out where the fence and the ears is. It kind of kept some of the fence in focus. Same thing, a little bit right there and on top of the head, so kind of the edge of the fur. What I really like about the depth effect on the iPhone is it is actually very good at understanding not only like a foreground and background, where it keeps the foreground in focus, then background out of focus, but it almost like it's pretty good at that like mid-ground, like gradual. It gives it that really natural effect, because I've seen some phones that would basically just almost cut her out, and this is kind of an easy photo because she's a almost black dog on a snowy backdrop, so it's not the most difficult with colors and stuff. But I've seen some phones and programs that would basically cut her out completely like a cookie cutter, and then even at her feet here you would see out of focus, which doesn't make sense because her feet are in the same focus plane as like her upper torso and neck, which are in focus. So the iPhone is very good at keeping that bottom part in focus, and then as you go towards the background, towards the fence, it gets more out of focus. So overall, very good. The nice thing about this too is, say I really love this image and I wanted it to look its best, I could hop into Photoshop and give the little edge, that little blur, and it would take no more than a couple minutes. So this would be very easy to fully do its best, but in the spirit of just keeping it like this, overall good image, only that one little mistake by the camera. Let's jump to the next. All right, so no, I'm not scrolling up too much because again, they're fast moving. I really loved this image. This is our first dog, Sammy, and I wish that the camera was down a little bit to get the bottom part of her face. and obviously there's a little too much headroom, but I do love her eyes and the ears back and the little snow on her nose. And this was actually very good. Everything that is in focus, it looks like I missed, or the camera missed focus slightly. The eyes are slightly out of focus. It's actually, the focus point seems to be right on the leash here. So that's not so much a depth effect issue as it is the focusing issue. Again, not terrible for a phone picture, but in the terms of photography and things like that, it did miss the mark ever so slightly. But the depth effect is pretty good. I don't see any big errors. It does sometimes leave a weird glow that I think the average eye wouldn't really notice, but like if I was shown this image and asked if this was taken on a DSLR or a phone with a depth effect, I could definitely tell from like right here, there's just something about that little glow that's not normal. This one I like a lot. I normally like black and white images and don't go too vibrant, but I actually really like this. This is one of the tonal filters, and then I adjusted the highlights just so that I didn't blow out too much of the snow. And I really love this image. And honestly, to me, this is one of those like just perfect, not perfect images, like congrats Michael, it's a perfect image, but like perfect in terms of like I don't see any errors. Like this is all perfectly out of focus. This is again that nice gradual out of focus where, you know, this is super sharp right here on the eyes, but then as you go back, it, you know, a little out of focus here and then fully blown out of focus there. The rope is still in focus, but little out here, greatly out there. The focal planes are all pretty correct. Even this is like a part of my jacket or something down here, or my, actually it looks like my glove or something, I don't know. But that's even a little out of focus. I love this photo, so good. And another one that was taken shortly after, but just with Sammy. Again, I believe I got right on the money. Yeah, perfect eye focus. So fantastic focus there. And again, this is a white dog, which that's like a black centerpiece. So again, it's not the most complicated for an image to kind of be like, oh, that's definitely a focus point. But again, no big errors anywhere. I don't see any crappy blurring. And again, has the nice gradient. This is out of focus here, but as it goes back towards the plane, it's back in focus. So I love this image too. All right, so this one, I think this is the last one. Yeah, so this is the last photo here. This one I liked a lot, obviously. There's a little bit, see right here, it's like this weird like glow where, or not even a glow, it's like a smudge. And it's like a blurred smudge. And this is, I will count this as a mistake. And it could be because there was a little speck in the background. There could be like a rock or like a dark spot on the actual ground right behind the nose point. So I can see that as a pretty tricky spot. But yeah, kind of around the mouth here, it looks a little bit, and I know this isn't like an error here, this is just like snow hanging off her chin. But there's another slight small error spot, looks like back here, where it looks like it kept that in focus. I believe that's not attached to her, I believe that's on the ground. Same thing right here, ever so slightly. I like the fact that I have to nitpick, and that's, I think, speaks to the phone and the overall portrait mode. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, these 5 photos here, I am extremely happy with. I mean, the fact that these were taken on a phone a couple of years ago, no one would believe this. I mean, these are, in my opinion, and again, photography is all subjective. I'm not saying these are the greatest photos ever taken or whatever, but I think that they are pretty solid. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you like the photos? Do you not care for them? And if you've used portrait mode yourself on either an iPhone or same depth effect on another phone. let me know down in the comments below. Let me know if you like this video and you want to see more like it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.